All right. Good evening. Good night. Which for you guys would be good morning by the time it gets uploaded. Hope everyone's having a wonderful, blessed, joyful day, week, and enjoy your weekend. Um, Wish you all the best in life. So this is gonna be my power ranking video. Going into week 5. So it's not gonna include tonight's result of the Los Angeles Rams victory on the road against the Seattle Seahawks 26-17. It's not gonna include that game. This is pretty much everything at the end of week 4 going into week 5. So it's not gonna include tonight's or I should say yesterday's Thursday night game. All right. So power rankings 32 to all the way to 1. So I'm going to go from the bottom to the top. So usually I do my power rankings, do it based on record. Then I go into based on how well team schedule my not my how well a team has played that previous week. So this would be how well teams played week 4. And I kind of also then base it off of schedule, who beat who previously, all those kind of things to kind of determine my power ranking. So for example, and the reason I do that is, for example, Cincinnati's 3-1, right? So a lot of people Cincinnati 3-1 might be very questionable. I'm one of those people that finds the 3-1 record to be very questionable. I have them ranked above like Kansas City right now, who's 2-2. Reason I have them currently ranked above Kansas City because of record 3-1, 2-2. I, based on my preseason prediction records, believe that by the time we get by the end of the season, it's gonna come down to earth and reminisce more of what my final predictions, record wise, for each team was by the end of the season. So right now, like Las Vegas and Cincinnati are two teams that have proved me wrong so far this season. Even the Chargers, I think, somewhat. Do I have them? I think finishing near 500, and then a team like maybe Miami who's doing bad. It's proved me wrong. Trying to think of another team. No, Chicago's kind of on par. Tennessee might be one of those teams that's proven me wrong kind of so far, but injuries and all else, those things happens as you go on. So that's something I don't determine when I make my preseason predictions for teams overall record end of the year, how I think the year is going to be. I don't include injuries and things like that into it. As you can see tonight, predicted Seattle Seahawks to have a game with driver Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson dislocates his middle finger, so he pretty much sat out the fourth quarter, which also cost me fantasy probably in several weeks this week, several leagues this week. So it is what it is. So everything and good and fun wishing Russell Wilson and Matthew Stafford, who I think both dislocated fingers, healthy recoveries. So now that I digress, apologies. Let's get into my power rankings. Start from 32 all the way up to 1. 32 and 31, so your winless teams. So it's pretty simple. I have Detroit coming at 32 and Jacksonville coming at 31. Jacksonville played way better than Detroit this week. Detroit gave the way this game to, not, I shouldn't say gave the way the game to Chicago, but they had terrible turnovers. That's was all on. It's not like Chicago caused these turnovers. It was all Detroit, just terrible lack of discipline. Lack of discipline, just terrible turnovers. That's on, which I thought was mostly at the hands of Detroit more than it was caused by Chicago. So that's why they're at the bottom. They played terrible to me this week. Jacksonville played very competitive. Probably should have won the game against Cincinnati, and it losing a heartbreak off a game-winning field goal. So Jacksonville played better than Detroit as of this week, even though I thought maybe Detroit had played better the first 3 weeks. So Detroit at 32, Jacksonville at 31. 32, I believe, all the way up to 19 are your 1-3 teams. I'm going to try to tackle this very quickly so I don't focus too long and make this video too long. Houston, 30. No Tyrod Taylor, rookie quarterback. Not good right now. 29, New York Jets beat Tennessee. I believe they beat up a banged up team, and Tennessee missed a field goal that should have had them tie the game. The Jets hadn't looked good the previous 2 weeks to me. New York Giants pressed a victory over the New Orleans Saints, but I also thought the New Orleans Saints not gave away the game, but their turnovers late allowed the Giants to stay into the game, and the game they probably should have put away. So that's why I had the Giants at 28, Houston at 30, New York Jets at 29, Pittsburgh Steelers at 27. Pittsburgh Steelers at 27. Offensive line is the main issue for this team and what continues to cost this team football games. So they're at 27. 26 Atlanta Falcons should have beat Washington. Gave away that game after beating New York Giants in a game the week before that I thought the New York Giants gave away. That's kind of why I think the New York Giants down too, because he gave away a lot of games a couple of weeks before they beat the Saints. Anyway, so that's why I have Atlanta at 26. He gave away that game, in my opinion, against the Washington football team. Philadelphia Eagles at 25. Looked bad the previous 2 weeks. Looked good against Kansas City for the most part. Already in defense. Looked terrible, but offensively didn't put the ball once. 24 Miami. No Tua Tagovailoa. So the Brissett has kept this team competitive, but these clearly need a quarterback at this moment to get them above the hump of some of the deficiencies. 23 Indianapolis Colts beat the Miami Dolphins and were competitive pretty much all season in losses for the most part. 22 New England Patriots very competitive against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defense Super Bowl champions, and for the most part, have been competitive. Other than I want to say last week when he lost to the Saints. 19 Minnesota's clearly and by far the most impressive and most competitive 1-3 team so far in the NFL. Think they're the best 1-3 team performance wise in the NFL through 4 weeks. So Minnesota Vikings are 21, top of the crop out of 1-3 teams right now for me. NFL 20 Tennessee Titans, big drop from 10. Why? Availabilities is the best ability, and right now their weapons on offense, wide receivers Julio Jones and AJ Brown have hamstring injuries, and without that, they struggled to even tie a game against the New York Jets. So I believe because of that, they're down at 20. Chicago Bears at 19. Quarterback issue finally decided to make Justin Fields the official starter. So see how it goes. But I thought they were okay. Again, I thought Detroit played terrible and handed that game to Chicago Bears. Even though the Chicago Bears defense hasn't been terrible through 4 weeks. Um, Washington football team up at 18. Should have lost to Atlanta Falcons, but took care of business. I think they're better than Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears, that's why I have them 18. New Orleans Saints down at 17, gave the way to game to New York Giants. Beat the Patriots, beat the Green Bay. So those two good wins to me. The two losses though are head scratching to Carolina and the recent loss to the New York Giants. 16, San Francisco 49ers. No Jimmy Garoppolo or Jimmy G, whatever you can call him. Trey Lance comes in, but you lost Jimmy Garoppolo, who I think is the better quarterback, even though Trey Lance might have the more potential and higher ceiling at quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo, but I believe Jimmy Garoppolo gets the job done. Trey Lance is still a question mark on what he can do so far in NFL. So that's why I have them at 16. Seattle Seahawks beat San Francisco. That's the only reason I had them both San Francisco, because I think the offense line is terrible and questionable. And as we've seen tonight, pressure and getting back in the pocket because of not great offensive line blocking led to Russell Wilson dislocating his finger. And probably my poll prediction on him being MVP, and as well as my fantasy teams. So, not to digress too much, but yeah, that's why I have him at 15. Kansas City creating the crop to 2-2 teams. Beat Philly. Lost the Heartbreakers a couple weeks in a row. So they've been the most impressive 2-2 team so far this season. Now let's go to 3-1 teams away from 13 all the way to 2. Cincinnati Bengals, 3-1. Surprise team for me, but they're the bottom of the 3-1 teams. Denver, Teddy Bridgewater got knocked out of this game against the Ravens. Other than that, I thought they looked impressive. Drew Lock has them a notch below to me. The next team I have above them. 11, Carolina Panthers. Sam Darnold, ability to run the ball and create plays with his feet makes me question why Adam Gase did not do it with some New York Jets and why the New York Jets couldn't make it work with Sam Darnold so far. He's played very impressive so far this year. With that being said, Dallas exposed where they really stand in the league, and that's why they're at 11 for me, because they've been exposed a bit this week, which I had them being exposed by Dallas this week. Number 10, Cleveland Browns. Did not look great are impressive against the Minnesota Vikings. So the Minnesota Vikings play very tough. Cleveland Browns have not produced the same amount of offense since Jarvis Landry got injured, and that's a bit concerning because even with Baker Mayfield not maybe being the best passer every week, you would still think to be able to produce more points with the running attack they have. So that's a bit concerning. So that's why they're at 10. Las Vegas Raiders, tough loss to Los Angeles Chargers. Other than that, has shown no heart of a champion. So I have them above Cleveland Browns right now. Los Angeles Chargers beat the Las Vegas Raiders. Looks impressive so far this season. Tough loss to Dallas is only loss on the season. So I have them at 8. Las Vegas Raiders at 9. Cleveland Browns at 10. Dallas Cowboys at 7 beat the Los Angeles Chargers and looked impressive since losing to Tampa Bay. Number 6, Tampa Bay beat Dallas. Stay apart, only lost. Did not look that impressive against the defense of the New England Patriots. But hey, it's Bill Belichick, New England Patriots, so you expect that, right? But they're staying the same put at 6 for me this week. Los Angeles Rams got dominated by Arizona Cardinals, so I had to put them down at 5 this week because he got kind of exposed and dominated by Arizona Cardinals. Number 4, Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers told you I relax, and since then has been showing you why he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And the defense has played better since then. So they're up at 4 for me. Baltimore Ravens, heart of the champion, and continues to show that they draft very well and those drafted players produce on the field. So I have them at 3. Impressive victory over undefeated Denver Broncos. But again, Teddy Bridgewater was knocked out the game this week. Number 2, Buffalo Bills. They have put up a lot of points since their loss to Pittsburgh, and they had 2 shutouts and put up 40 points. I want to say 2 or 3 times since then. So very impressive victory, and the most dominant 3-1 team to me 4 weeks in this season. So Buffalo Bills at 2. Number 1, Arizona Cardinals, only undefeated team left in the league. I don't expect them to stay undefeated this season, but they're only undefeated team left in the league. An impressive dominant victory over the Los Angeles Rams, and they had a dominant victory over the Tennessee Titans. They have a good resume, even though I thought they should have lost games, or they had the chance of looking. He had looked inconsistent and had the ability of losing the games against the Minnesota Vikings and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, but still, you are what your record are 4-0. They're my number 1 team right now, going into Week 5. So again, I included Seattle's loss to Los Angeles Rams tonight. But that's my take. That's my power rankings going into Week 5. I hope everyone's having a wonderful, blessed, joyful week. Wish you guys the best in life. Enjoy your weekend. Get outside. Enjoy some nice weather. Wish you guys the best in life, and keep doing good in the world, guys. That being said, that's it for my power rankings, guys. Peace.